scripture, I came across an article by David Lowe's that talks about the butterfly effect. Never shortchange one person's actions. Never shortchange that. What you do will impact others. And today's narrative is one in which we see actions that do great harm and actions that lead to great deliverance. Lee covered some of this, but we definitely need to go back and remember what takes place in Exodus 1. Exodus 1 begins with, it's not on there, dude. I know what you're looking for. Exodus 1 wasn't part of the scripture we picked this week. But for this scripture to make sense, we do need to talk about it. Exodus 1 is where we start with a new Pharaoh has taken rule, and he does not know Joseph. That seems like a rather simple statement, but we have to remember what Joseph did. Joseph rescued Egypt from famine. And that's how the Hebrews ended up in Egypt in the first place. Joseph rescued the Egyptians and the Hebrews from famine. So we have reached a point that they no longer remember Joseph. They had forgotten why the Hebrews were there and why they were important. Instead, they had developed a fear for the Hebrew people. A fear that is so strong, Pharaoh will do almost anything to make sure that he is not threatened by them. His first attempt is to tell the midwives to kill the baby boys. Well, that's not working, so he calls the midwives in, and the midwives promptly inform him that this isn't working. The Hebrew women are too strong. They have their baby boys before we get there. In the story. But Pharaoh is determined. He is determined to go around those midwives. He is determined to go around another way. And so he commands that all of the baby boys will be thrown into the Nile. Pharaoh's fear is driving his actions, and it controls what impact he has. While this is going on, the Hebrews are enslaved, and Pharaoh continues to push harder and harder. But some Hebrews decide not to obey, or at least not literally to obey. Daubed, who we don't get her name until chapter 6, is Moses' mother. She acts out of love for her child in a way that leads her to be disobedient to Pharaoh. Here's what happens. Now, a man from Levi's household married a Levite woman. The woman became pregnant and gave birth to a son. She saw that the baby was healthy and beautiful, so she hid him for 3 months. When she couldn't hide him any longer, she took a reed basket and sealed it up with black tar. She put the child in the basket and set the basket among the reeds at the riverbank. The baby's older sister stood to watch nearby to see what would happen to him. Daubed's actions are actions of desperation. She has no other choice, no other recourse that she can imagine other than to let go of her son. But we have to realize that's not just letting go of her son. That is letting go of her future, her dreams, her hopes. And she is going to have to cast them on water. Saying goodbye or letting go of something that we care about is not easy. In fact, this year has included one of those life transitions where Sarah has taken up a new life. She got married, she's moved away, and we said goodbye. Not goodbye forever, but we do have to say a kind of goodbye. This still isn't easy for us. There are times that I miss Sarah. There are times that I catch my breath when I hear her voicemail and it says Sarah Swain rather than Sarah Witt. There are things that we miss, things that we don't want to let go of easily. School is right around the corner. There are those of us who will be sending children off to college. There are those of us who will be sending children to new schools. There are those of us who say goodbye to friends as we move into a time of retirement. We know what it means to say goodbye. And it is incredibly painful, even when we know that there is all the possibility in the world for us to stay connected in our electronic world. We can either get on Facebook or call, text, email. We are not limited in how we will have to live to make those connections. We have some control over our goodbyes. And as painful as those are, I can't begin to fathom what Daubed was going through. She had no idea what would happen once she put the basket in the river. She chose to disobey the command of Pharaoh. She tweaked it a little bit at least anyway, so rather than throwing her son into the Nile, she set him gently afloat in the basket. Sent him off down the river. How did she do it? We know from her actions she did it in ways that were filled with hope, in ways that may have been strategic. Did she plan for this basket to end up where Pharaoh's household bathed? What went on? Did she constantly say that prayer of God, help my child? Casting out into the Nile her child. Yet Miriam is tasked with watching, which makes many of us think that she may have been a little more strategic than we often think of. The hope was for an Egyptian person to find this baby and to care for him. Keep in mind, she's counting on an Egyptian to care for her Hebrew baby. Ironies in this particular story. One, that the Hebrew baby would be saved by an Egyptian. The other, that Daubed would not just simply toss her baby into the Nile, but would set him afloat in the Nile. That three women, Daubed, Miriam, and Pharaoh's daughter, all unnamed in this passage, would act in ways of disobedience to save Moses. Here's the second part of the scripture. Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe in the river, while her women servants walked along beside the river. She saw the basket among the reeds, and she sent one of her servants to bring it to her. When she opened it, she saw the child. The boy was crying, and she felt sorry for him. She said, "This must be one of the Hebrews' children." Then the baby's sister said to Pharaoh's daughter, "Would you like me to go and find one of the Hebrew women to nurse your child for you?" Pharaoh's daughter agreed. "Yes, do that." So the girl went and called the child's mother. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Take this child and nurse it for me, and I'll pay you for your work." So the woman took the child and nursed it. After the child had grown up, she brought him back to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her son. She named him Moses because she said, "I pulled him out of the water." 3 women, unnamed, and 2 midwives are those who overthrow Pharaoh's plan to kill all of the baby boys. We don't hear any more about how that ended. But I have a feeling Pharaoh's daughter had something to do with it. Each one is having to give up that which they have claimed as their own, that which they love, more than they can imagine. Miriam sets it up so that daubed will get Moses back. She will have the opportunity to nurse him and to care for him, all the while knowing that there will come a point where she has to let go again. Pharaoh's daughter cannot care for this child on her own. She has to let go of him. We don't like to let go of things. And I was struck this week when I was reading the upper room. If you don't have an upper room, they're out in the narthex. It is a daily devotional. But Fridays had to do with a grandfather's love. A grandfather who could no longer take care of his granddaughter, and so he was giving her up for adoption. And she realized that this was an act of love on her grandfather's part because he knew he could not take care of her. He was willing to hand her over so that others would. Moses' mother and Pharaoh's daughters both will have to hand Moses over to one another and trust in that which they despise. But ultimately, daubed does it because she believes in a God that turns things upside down. In a God that would use women to overthrow Pharaoh's orders. In a God who would choose the younger sons, not the older sons, repeatedly. In a God who would send Abraham on a journey to a foreign land to be the bearer of his people. A God who would choose Abraham and Sarah when they were in their old age to give birth to a son that would be the father of many. God does not work according to the ways that we usually prescribe. And God did not work that way for our sin either. God chose to hand over his Son, that we might know eternal life, that we might see a different way to live through his life, that we might understand the depth of his love and his grace when he died upon the cross, and that we might catch a glimpse of the possibilities of new life in the hope of resurrection. This is who God is. And this is the God that we place our trust in over and over again. We often think we don't want to let go. We don't want to hand over that which we love. But when that which we love is so consuming to us that we cannot clasp onto God, we need to be able to let go. It can be all kinds of things. What do we need to let go of? Is it time? Is it a relationship that needs to be set free? Not broken, but set free. There is that old saying that if you love someone, let them go. Can you let them go? Can you trust them in God's care? Checkbooks, time, people, status. Maybe one of the hardest for us in our generation is our phone. What is it that you need to let go of? That you need to place in the water and let it go? The hard part of this is like we want to have things back. And she has the privilege of having Moses back. But she's going to have to give him up again. And in our lives, there are those things that we just can't seem to let go of. It's almost as if they're sticky and they stick to our hands, and when we try to let go, they come right back. Most of us have some sin in our life that we have tried to give up over and over again. And we keep picking it up, and it keeps separating us from God. God would take the Hebrew son that was saved in a basket on the Nile and raise him up to be the prophet who would lead his people from slavery out into the wilderness to make a journey toward the promised land. He would encounter God in ways others had not. But he had to be set free to do that. What is it that you need to set free? That you need to hand over? That you need to let go of? Sometimes it's helpful when we take action that reminds us of what we're doing. So today you will have that opportunity. During the offering, where we'll come up and place our gifts in the basket, if you come over to this table where I'm going to be, there are little slips of paper for you to write down what you need to let go of and to put it in the water. I invite you to do this. Come put it in the water with the trust of Yahweh, that God will take care of you and will take care of those you love. Let us pray. Gracious and merciful God, open up our hearts that we might feel the freedom to put into a word or two what it is that we need to hand over to you. Grant us the strength to do that. The courage to hand it over rather than trying to control it. So many suffer in ways, and all we really want is control. Yet we realize we do not have control. Help us to understand that we must trust you, even in the most difficult circumstances. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.